Hey everybody! I'm doing a live today because let me just take my seat. Got my bits everywhere. Let's see if we can move this camera. So I am just going to get started, and the reason why I'm doing a live is it'd be great to interact with you ladies and gentlemen, but mainly you ladies today, because I do miss doing our lives. I'm going to be adjusting this a little bit. But also because I am so behind on my filming schedule that it was either missing a day or jumping on here real quick and having a chat with you and just letting you have today's content. So today is Women Ask Wednesday, and I am going to be answering the question that I have a few questions from you guys, but I really wanted to answer this one because it just felt urgent. Sorry, that was my son calling me. That's the thing when you use your phone to do these lives. I really need to figure out another way. So basically today we're going to be talking about something that sometimes I have these topics and I know what I've got planned to come. Hi everyone. I know what I've got planned for every schedule, but then sometimes I feel really led and sort of moved to do something something that I feel might be pulsating on people's hearts. And so today I want to do a video on when the ex moves on and marries the new girl in like lightning speed. Okay, that could just be not even marries but moves in or commits really quickly after he's left you and you have invested and you were all in and you did everything you could, and he gives the other woman that he meets everything that you were asking for, and you start to ask yourself, so what was wrong with me? What did I do wrong? And you start to get into your head about what you think you could have done wrong. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I am Chengi and you are my world. And for those of you who are watching again, thank you so much for coming back and joining me on this live. It's so good to have you. Make sure you share. She wasn't worth it, clearly. So make sure that you share. So that's an interesting topic. The bottom line is we are all somebody's whoever we end up with was somebody else's loss. Somebody else invested, somebody else hoped that that man would do right by them, and so we too are in that position. And does that make us the bad person, or does it make him foolish in choosing us? That's something that we can ask ourselves. So I'm just going to go through the notes. Anybody with any questions or comments, just keep them coming. Questions, if you can keep them till the end so that I don't get distracted, so that those who'll be watching the replay won't be distracted by me stopping and answering questions. But if you do have any, I'd love to answer them. Okay, so what that happens is usually, you're going to start to stalk her Instagram. You want to see what is it about this woman and what is it that she had that you just didn't. What is it that after 5 years of dating, I have a few friends this has happened to, and I'm sure, if I look back at my past, I might find myself in that situation as well. But yes, actually, I do remember being in that situation myself, but we weren't anywhere near committed, but I had sort of invested 2 years into that relationship only to discover that the other woman got it all. The winner takes it all. But we'll get into that. But this is something that happens quite a lot, where women, you invest in a relationship, the guy makes you, he takes all the good stuff, and then when you end it, or when the relationship ends, he seems to just bounce back. He seems to find some girl and move on, and you look and think to yourself, so what is it about her that's not that I didn't have. And that's usually the wrong thought process. That is the wrong way of thinking about it. But I'm going to answer that question nevertheless for you, because if it's bugging somebody right now, you're thinking to yourself, what is it that she has that I don't have? What is it that she has that I don't have? Where did I fall short? Then I'm going to answer that question for you so we can put that one to bed. So what you do initially is start to ask yourself the question. And the problem is we begin to internalize what somebody else does in our lives. We begin to believe and assume that they did it, so there must be something wrong with us. It never occurs to us that there's something fundamentally perhaps wrong with them, or something fundamentally wrong with the relationship that we had. It just somehow seems easier to, good morning Cynthia, it's actually afternoon here, it's like nearly 4 p.m. To sort of reflect that on yourself. So why? When we get to the why, when we understand why somebody does what they do, it makes it easier for us to embrace the situation. Okay, so number one, if you dumped him, you dumped him for a reason. Maybe you've spent enough time, you've given him 5 years of your life, he's still not putting a ring on it, or he's still not asking you to be his girlfriend, and you've been dating for 6 months to a year, whatever, and you're still on this pendulum, you're still on this situation where you're not sure what's really going on. And so eventually, because you gather some self-esteem and self-respect, you decide that you're going to, move on with your life, and good for you. But you don't really expect to go on your Facebook and your Instagram 3-4 weeks later and find him plastered with a new girl on his page, or for you to be hearing an announcement 6 months later that he's getting married. That is shocking, and that is very devastating. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because it is extremely devastating, and it happens quite a lot. In fact, if it doesn't, it probably happens to most women. So I wanted to do this video as a way of comfort. So if you dumped him and he does that, number one, he is looking for atonement. One of the things with men is they get very comfortable in relationships. When they win over a woman, they put in all the effort. They front load all their effort. They make sure that they give you all the good stuff in the beginning, and then when they have you, and because when a woman falls for a guy, it's not superficial. It is a very deep connection that we create, and a deep loyalty. Not every woman, but generally feminine energy has a way of really connecting, and it's very difficult for feminine energy to disconnect. So a man knows that once he gets the love of a woman, once he gets that affirmation that I love you, and he knows that he's affected her at a very deep emotional level, he begins to make less and less and less of an effort. And so what happens is, after time goes by, it's something that I've heard from men all the time. I speak to men a lot. I speak to my guy friends. I speak to guys from all over the place. And they have confirmed that, yeah, us men get comfortable really quickly. They have a very quick comfort zone. Once they feel loved, they get into a comfort zone very quickly. And therefore, they find it very difficult to begin to continue that effort to make you feel special and amazing. And then if you are giving them pretty much everything that a marriage would have, if you're shagging them, if you're feeding them, if you're doing their laundry, if you are doing all of these things, I've done a video on this channel about showing your value versus proving yourself. And sometimes as women, we are in this relationship, we've given away pretty much all of our power, all of our good stuff. And so now we become sort of needy, and we want to prove to this man that we are worthy of the ring, we're worthy of that extra bit of commitment, that we deserve for him to validate this relationship by giving us that bit more commitment in the relationship. And so what we do is we start to put in the work. But we are hoping that that's going to record in his head that, oh, she's a good woman, I should really keep her. She is a keeper, right? But what that actually does in his male mind is, I got everything I need. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm going to belch, grow a belly, whatever, and lower my standards, because she's not going anywhere. She's here to stay. So what happens is, when the relationship ends and you end the relationship because you've had enough, you are fed up, you will not take any more of his nonsense. And you are, even if you're ready to move on and you've met somebody else, or whatever, it still hurts that what you were asking for and laboring for and investing for, you didn't get that from that person, but he walks into the life of a new woman and all of a sudden he's ready to commit and whatever. I want to reassure you that that woman is no more special than you. She's no more special than you. That guy is looking for atonement. He is looking to atone himself, because when a man leaves a good woman that he knows loved him, cherished him, did everything she could to make him happy, and he's now out in the cold and he's lost access to that, he swears to himself that the next woman he meets, he's not going to treat that way. And that really sucks, because you've become the instructor, you've become the teacher for this man. So now he's instructed himself that, you know what, the next woman I meet, I'm never going to treat her badly. I'm going to give her the love and respect she deserves, and I'm going to commit to her. And I'm not. So that woman gets all the good stuff, all the stuff you were labored for, she begins to harvest. But that's really him looking for atonement. Does that mean he doesn't love her? I'm sure he does. But chances are he's just met a decent woman and he doesn't want to lose her the way he lost you, because he now realizes that it is possible to lose a decent woman. Now, he may have tried to get you back, and if you were like, I'm not having it, I'm not coming back, blah, 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 then he moved on, and if and that's how he was hoping to do that. So usually it is an act of atonement. And then he realizes after many, many years in marriage that it really wasn't what he was after, but often sometimes it's too late, or he makes lemonade out of lemons, or makes his bed and he lies in it and is quite happy to stay in it. So that's also part of why a man would move on really quickly and seem to commit. It's more about you. That whole process is about you, what he lost and what he doesn't want to lose again. It's a bit like when you win and when you make £1 million and you lose it. The next time you get to make £1 million or an opportunity to, you are not going to lose it. You're not going to spend it on the same things that you did. So it's that atonement. The next thing is, if that happens really quickly, like 2 months later, a month later, it is most likely that he was seeing this person behind your back anyway, that this person has been present in the background and he has been weighing up the both of you, but you didn't know it. So if you are in a situation, maybe they weren't in a sexual relationship, maybe they hadn't even started to talk about relationship, but definitely this person was there. They were in the background. There was somebody that was in his life who was somehow connected to him, and they created a bond in and during your relationship. So what happened is, when that relationship ended, maybe he had no intention, because remember, you dumped him. We're going to talk about when he dumps you, but let's say you dumped him, he probably didn't have any intention really of hooking up with that person, but that person was already there. They were already a wheel in motion, and they become the comfort for him, and comfort develops into something else. Or they were just having a full-blown affair, and maybe that's why you kicked him out, because you found out, or this then gave him an opportunity to make the side chick, why doesn't he love me? To make the side chick your side chick. Now, what we have to understand about, great question, why doesn't he love you? A man's love doesn't equal commitment or marriage. Maybe. Is it my breath? Maybe. A man can love you. A man's biggest prize is you. It's not the marriage. Marriage, the wedding, the marriage is for the woman. It was an institution for women. It has always been an institution to protect women, to give women stability. Men in themselves, oh my snap. The topic is why a man would leave, why your ex moves on really quickly and marries the new girl, or commits the new girl, or does all the great stuff that you wanted him to do. That's the topic. Okay, so Men, the prize for the man is you. If he has you with or without a ring, he's a happy man. He's good to go. His life is perfect. You are the one that wants that commitment. So it doesn't mean that he doesn't love you, that he moves on really quickly. It's just that he needs to atone, and he is transferring his emotions here to there. Because remember, men are not that emotionally intelligent. They are. They're on horseback, and we are in a Porsche when it comes to emotions. So basically, that is that is definitely one of the things. The next thing is. So he was already in a relationship. The next thing is, she did have something that you didn't have. She had a fresh start. She was a blank piece of paper that he could have a fresh start with. And he could not have a fresh start with you. Maybe the relationship was tumultuous. Maybe there was a lot going on in that relationship. But with this new girl, he had the opportunity of a fresh start. That's what a new person provides all the time. They provide a fresh start. Okay, so that's something that you couldn't give him, and that's something that you didn't have to give him. That's definitely one of those things. But there are other things as well that okay, I think we're gonna remove. Thank you. I'm just gonna not tell her. Sorry guys. Okay, we're gonna just not have silly comments on this video. I just can't. Okay, can't. So if you're not gonna have something constructive, then I really haven't got time for this. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that's another thing. I really can't be doing lives and having silly people on this channel, because this is a very important subject for a lot of women. So we're not gonna have silly comments. So yeah, she was able to give him a fresh start, but she was also maybe able to deal with his monsters or his deficiencies or his insecurities or his secrets or his whatever better than you were. That doesn't make her a better woman. It makes her more compatible with him. We need to not confuse a better woman for a more compatible woman. Okay, the other woman might be more compatible, doesn't mean she's better than you. Okay, she is built. There are women who, so for instance, I was in a relationship once where I was really with a really very grumpy guy, and I just couldn't cope. I would get all nervous and anxious, and it was very difficult for me. And then I developed myself emotionally to realize that I didn't need anybody. My atmosphere and my environment that I was creating in my inner world was more important than anyone else. So my inner environment is more dominant when I walk into a room, because I hone in my love and my peace and my joy and my happiness, and is not dependent on what anybody else does. So when I developed myself into that woman, when I met the other guy, because again, we will always meet our type, we will always be attracted to our type. The other guy was really grumpy, but what I found that was really interesting is I found him funny. I found his grumpiness amusing, and still, it's like, oh my God, like that is so funny. I literally burst out laughing. I laugh, and when I see the grumpiness, because I live in this sort of grumpiness. So it was kind of like I began to find it funny. So that makes me a more compatible person for a grumpy guy, in a way that the old me was not compatible. It's the same me. So one is not better than the other. It's just one is more developed in the ability to deal with this predisposition that this man has than the other. And sometimes, especially when a man has a big secret, or when a man has a deficiency in his character, or something that he struggles to work on, or that he knows he's going to have issues with long term, is to find somebody who can accept that. We all want acceptance. And so where maybe it was a point of conflict with you in that relationship with him, it will not be a point of conflict with this girl. It might not be a conflict with her. It might be something that she finds amusing or funny or can tolerate. Okay, so there is something in her, but chances are you're not gonna find that by checking through her Facebook and trying to figure out the externalities. Usually it's something to do with the internals. If you try and figure out, oh, because she has a mom and dad and I don't, or she's slim and I'm not, or she's got a bigger figure, better curves, and I don't, that's why, then you're going to be mistaken, because it's often little to do with the things that are manifest, that are visible, and a lot more to do with the energy. And like I said, she could give him a fresh start. And you know, the other thing that I want to point out, which is point number 4, is it just happens. Sometimes you leave a relationship and LOL, I feel I am the woman he chose to marry and the ex been left wondering. Yes, and like I said in the beginning of this video, we are all that woman, which is the irony of it. Whoever we end up marrying or ending up in a relationship with, some other woman did the crying, did the work, did the work behind us. So, which is why I say never to be resentful when you do the work, because it means when it's your turn, you're gonna get a man who some other woman has done work for. So you reap what you sow. So yes, you are the woman that the man and the ex lost, because she was preparing him for you, and you have prepared some other guy for some other woman in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so it's cyclical. So what happens is we get resentful. That, you know, why I remember dating this guy once, and I was so angry at him because, you know, he didn't want to continue the relationship. And he was really very honest, and he was just really trying to say that, you know, he couldn't walk with me. There was no real compatibility between us, and he had noticed that, but he felt that I had helped him so much to become a better man, and I was livid. I was like, I didn't do any of that so that you could just go off and find some other girl. I was like mad. I was so angry. Like it was in the days when I had less understanding, but you know, now I realize that that was my job, because the guy that I'm gonna marry and meet, somebody else has done the digging, and I just get to reap the rewards. Okay, so it's a cyclical thing, and that helps us not to become resentful, because it will come back to you, especially if when the relationship ends you don't become resentful. We're going to look at that a little bit later. So sometimes a relationship ends, and you know, he's just going about his business trying to recover, and he meets somebody instantaneously. They have a connection. It happens, and it wasn't premeditated, and it wasn't thought of, and she doesn't have anything that you don't have. It just happened to be a quick connection with somebody else, and that's life. Life is not fair. It is what it is. We just work with the cards that we've been given, but I do believe that life is just. Okay, and there's a difference between fairness and justice, and that is another video. Okay, so the other thing, the last thing is, he may have, if he dumped you and then moves on to the next woman, chances are he's narcissistic, and you know, he enjoys always some sort of psychopath or sociopath, and enjoys the pain. I was watching a channel and they were talking about you know, a sociopathy and psychopathy, and an example of a man who was a sociopath, who basically dated a girl, then that, you know, the girl dumped him, and then he came back and became the perfect boyfriend, did everything perfectly, met the parents, did not get a thing out of place, because he had studied exactly what she wanted. That's me now, Chengi. I'm heartbroken at the moment, going through a tough time. Nice to see you live. Oh, Sarah, thank you. I knew it was for somebody. I always know it's for somebody. And basically, then he just dumped her. And when he was asked why he just dumped her after she was in this euphoria, he said he just wanted the satisfaction of hurting her. So he knew that if he played it up and did the parents and brought the flowers and did everything for a whole year, he kept this up for a whole year. So if you happen to find yourself with a narcissist or a sociopath, somebody who's intent and it has pleasure and joy from hurting other people, that could very much be the case. And in which case, count your lucky stars, because you're not going to be the ongoing victim, right? There's something to be said about that. So what do we do about it? Because at the end of the day, you know, knowing why goes some of the way to helping you feel better, but what is it that you can do about it? And the number one thing is to realize that no matter what you did, or what you could have done, or the gymnastics you could have performed, or whatever it is that you think you could have done better, lost more weight, blah, 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 to get this man, it was never going to be good enough, because he had hit that comfort zone. He had hit that taking you for granted zone. And the only way that he was really ever going to appreciate you was for you to not be in his life anymore. My husband left me for a woman he met online. He divorced me and married her. Now he is still contact with me, and I choose to entertain him. Contact me and he entertain him, and he gets mad at me. I choose not. Well done. Yeah, you're just like a high value girl. Why would you entertain that? Absolutely not. That's nonsense. And you so deserve better. So let's get you a new man. It's 2019, honey. Yes. Okay. Yes, you know, some men, they make silly decisions too. You know, all the reasons I've given are not all the reasons, but definitely amongst the top reasons why men do that. So what do? We realize that we could have never been enough, even though we are enough. Okay, you can be enough. I tell myself every day, I am enough. I am 100% all the way enough. But I might not be enough for somebody else, because maybe what they require of me, I am not prepared to sell my soul for it. Maybe in order for me to be enough for them, I have to change who I am. I have to be inauthentic. I have to abandon myself in order to be what they need me to be. And myself is the only thing that I get to have in this world other than the Lord. So when we leave ourselves and abandon ourselves, the way home to ourselves is a lot harder. And if any relationship, for you to keep it and to have it, means that you have to abandon self, that is not the relationship for you under any circumstances. So there is no abandoning of yourself. So you know that you loved yourself enough to not have to change to be what somebody else needed you to be, so that they could be happy, or so that they could stay. Okay, so understand that you did your best, and that it is not wasted. Give, and it will come back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over will men pour into your bosom. Okay, so whenever we give and invest in something, it doesn't leave our lives. Giving is the only way to apprehend, to hold on to, and to have that thing remain. Okay, the principle of giving is the most powerful principle in the world. If you want something, give it. If you want love, give it. If you want a good man that is ready to love a woman the way he should, give that to another woman. Gift it to another woman. So in that regard, I want to encourage you to gift this man to his new woman. Say to yourself, I gift you him. Oh, now she is dogging. You reap what you sow, right? Okay, so gift this man over to her. You don't have to verbalize. You don't have to go to him. You don't have to send him a text. But in your heart, say, Sarah, whoever you lady that you are, I gift this man to you. And I thank you for accepting my gift to you, because I invested A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I hope that you will honor and respect that seed that I've sown, and that it will prosper and bless your life, because I too am ready to receive the gift from another woman. Okay. It seems easier to be angry and bitter and annoyed and to chase her down and try and feel bad, but trust me, I don't give out hokey pokey advice on this channel. I don't give up airy fairy. I give you stuff that works, stuff that heals, stuff that moves you forward. Okay, so gift this man over. Don't hold him in your heart. Don't insist that he is your person, and no matter what happens, he is your person, and how dare she after you invested. Gift him to her, because it will come back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Okay, so gift that person. The next thing is to realize a scripture that I'm going to read to you. I found this and it's so powerful, And I want to send it to you, anybody who is hurting or brokenhearted or disappointed. I want to read this to you because it says it's so beautifully perfect. So it is 1 John 2 verse 19. I don't usually quote scripture on this channel, but I really want you to for those of you who are Christian like me, and those who are not, go and find yourself. You can Google this chapter, this verse, 1 John 2 verse 19, and it reads, they went from us, but they did not really belong to us. For if they had belonged to us, they would have remained with us. But their going showed that none of them belonged to us. This is so powerful on a million different levels, because this will set you free. It will set you free. If somebody was meant for you, heaven and earth, the God himself will contend. It may be delayed, it may be frustrated, it may be difficult, but trust me, if you could dump this person 4 or 5 times, but they will keep coming back, they will keep begging, because they are for you. Because what is for you cannot be taken away. Need opinion. I have been dating someone for 4.5 years and he has yet to propose. I think he's coming next year. Should I wait or move on? I think it is coming this year. Should I wait or move on? May is when I leave. I will leave if he hasn't proposed. Okay, I'm going to come back to you on that. Thank you so much. I'm going to come back to you. But I really just want to finish this point and say, what is for you, it can't leave you. So stop holding on to it. We're all here on this earth to prepare others, to bless others, to let our light shine on others. And if you're loving this man and preparing this man and showing him how to be a better man, was your job. Embrace it and let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. And bless him and gift that other woman. She's not your enemy. I know it feels sometimes like she's your enemy, but baby, she doesn't even know about you. And whatever she knows about you, he told her. And if whatever he told her is not going to be in your favor. So at the end of the day, she is innocent. She was a girl praying for love, looking for love on Chengi's world, on somebody wondering when she would meet her knight in shining armor. And you gifted her. You are an answer to prayer, baby. Yeah. You're an answer to somebody's prayer. So don't hold on to that. Let it go, because it was not for you. So let that pain go. Let that pain disappear. So to the question that I said that I would answer, because I am now done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now I'm done. And that is how I feel and believe you can heal and grow from this place. Because if you don't heal, then the new relationship will not come. And if it comes, you will sabotage it, because you will end up with trust issues. If you have an open heart and an open spirit and an open mind about love, and give from not a place of I must receive, but giving being the joy of love, then you're going to be full to the overflow. Now, the question, you've been dating this guy for 4 years. You can ask me questions now, because I'm done now. I'm going to stay on here for a few more minutes, and then I will come off and maybe do some other videos that are pre-recorded. I've done a video here on how long one needs to wait Okay, I've done a video here on how long somebody needs to wait in order for them to get married. And I believe between 1 and 5 years is a healthy time. Now, if you believe this is this year, I'm assuming this is the 5th year. What I'm going to advise you to do is pray about the date that you do want, but don't give him an ultimatum, and don't give yourself a reason to be disappointed. Let God do the work. You know, if you know it's 5 years and he hasn't made if May is your 5th year, then it's an opportunity to tell him. My sister was dating somebody for 5 years, and after 5 years she said, look, I only will ever date somebody for 5 years, and if they haven't married me, then I have to move on. So let me know what you want to do, because I think at that point they were living together. Let me know what you want to do, and I will either move out and find myself a place to live. And she was very serious. The moment she said it to him that she's done 5 years, and my dad always said to us, if a man hasn't married you in 5 years, he's never gonna marry you. And 5 years is the number of grace. So just an honest, loving conversation with him on the 5th anniversary, and be prepared to actually make the move. So well done for being ready to move on with your life. And then it will be up to him. And for my sister, he literally said, okay, fine, let's go get the ring. But he had sworn from the day he met her that he was never going to get married ever. And they're now so happily married, and they go to church together. They're an amazing couple. If you follow my Instagram, you'll meet him. He's a great guy. So yeah. Just don't pin a date in your faith and in your prayers, but don't pin a date for him, because you don't want to corner him. Men don't like to feel cornered. Baby Joy, how to let go of my ex. It's the first time of my life. It's been so hard to forget someone. I'm 35 years old. Okay. So letting go of your ex is always going to be hard, because you have to understand that the connection that we have to people is not just, oh, they're my ex, we had a good time and now it's over. We connect on a biological level, we connect on a spiritual level, and we connect on a soul level. So if you have a soul tie with this man, if you have a soul tie, a spiritual connection to him through usually sexual intercourse or any kind of connection, sometimes you can even develop a soul tie through just a great intimacy with somebody. It's something that has to be prayed through and worked through. And if it is, but the biological stuff, whether you sleep with somebody or not, when you're in a relationship, there's certain hormones that are at play. And so you have to allow those to naturally work themselves out in your body. You have to allow the process for your body to heal. That's why they say time heals all wounds. Now, healing is a deliberate process that you can engage in by prayer, meditating, and thinking good thoughts towards him, and most importantly, towards yourself. But ultimately, the body has to detox off those hormones. It has to detox off those highs. The body is like if you're eating certain kinds of food and then you change your diet all of a sudden, your body has to be given time to get that energy out of your body. So, and of course at the age of 35, you wanted something to stick, you wanted something to last, and you're finding yourself at the age of 35 single, after having invested. Of course you're gonna feel that way. So give yourself time to heal. Don't begrudge yourself. Make sure that you love yourself. Self-care is going to be 100% important right now. All the things that you wanted to do with him when you get married, the countries you wanted to visit, go visit them by yourself with a friend. Everything that you wanted to do it with a friend. Do it with somebody that loves you and that you love. And I'll probably do a video on healing. So let's do that. Let's schedule a video for healing. I've got another question here. After my divorce and after forgiving him and myself, I felt that I was very open, which I feel allowed someone else to walk into my life. I had to let the old energy go before someone else could come in. Yeah, absolutely. Forgiveness is the number one key to healing, and that's some of the stuff that we will talk about in the next video, in the video that I will do about healing. It comes down to first really overcoming the hurdle of forgiveness. After that, it's open season. Yeah, but that journey, that forgiveness journey, that's the hardest journey to work through. And when you do that, you're good to go. And forgiveness is a journey. As much as it's an event, it's also a journey that you have to take, and a mental discipline an emotional discipline that you need to impose on yourself. And then we can talk about that a little bit more. You're welcome, Dolores. Thank you so much for asking your question. If there's anybody else with a question, please feel free to ask or comment and I'll read it out for you. If not, I shall be calling it a day. Now, just to remind you, ladies, if you are new to my channel, to subscribe, like, and share this video to somebody that you know might be going through this situation. And also, you can connect with me on Magnify, which is an app where you can call me and we can actually talk about your situation. So if you want to talk about it further without necessarily paying the big ticket prices that my clients pay to have my time, then hook up with me on Magnify. Let's have that conversation. I'm available. Just send me a chat, download the app, send me a chat. I will put the link in the description box so that you can connect with me straight away. It's a very easy app. It's so good. And we can actually have a chat and talk about that more on a one-to-one. Okay, so we can take 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, and do that. So I'm really happy to be working with Magnify. I'm in a new relationship. Should you ask where y'all stand or just wait for him to tell you? I think I've done a video on this. Healing would be a wonderful topic. Thank you for everything and stay blessed. Thank you. Yes, I will do that for you. I'm going to put that in my notes and prepare that video for you. Yeah. To be honest, it depends. How new is this relationship? Chengi, she wrote to me again for the fourth time without contacting me. Let's see what this one. Don't be curious, keep it moving. This is somebody that I've been working with for quite a while. You need to keep it moving. I'm never going to change my advice to you, Sebastian. It's going to be the same. Okay. It's going to be the same. This is only ever going to create a lot of hurt for you. So the question earlier on was, is it too late to... You asked me about when you should mention you've just started seeing someone. And I asked you how long you've been seeing this person. Are you still there? Okay, we'll just move on. So basically, if you've just met, I don't think it's something that needs to be verbalized yet, because quite frankly, a man will show you 8 months, and you don't know how he feels. You're not clear from his actions. Clear to you, kind of. Okay, so here's the thing. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Just say to him, I'm having such a great time with you and we're making such a connection. I just need to be clear about, your plans for us. Just ask him, because the ambiguity is never going to do anybody any good. And you're new to dating. Oh, yeah, dating can be a bit tricky. But he supports me financially. Okay, I didn't follow that thread, the financial thread. I'm 22 and he's 55. Oh, you're the one dating a sugar daddy. Are you happy in that relationship? It doesn't really matter. Age has some consequence, but it's not massive if there's a connection and resonance. Okay, I need to go now because I have another call to be on. So what I'm gonna say to you is, okay, so Miss I got a sugar daddy, you need to, I'm very happy, but we get stairs in London. If you're happy, you're happy. You can't be preoccupied by what people think. You're welcome, Fonora 7, you're welcome. Okay, so yeah, just ask him. Don't be afraid to ask him. So that's it from now. Screen is black. I know, so annoying. Can you hear me? Well, it seems my connection has been compromised and the screen is now black. So I'm gonna have to say goodbye. I'm hoping you can hear me. And let's continue this conversation on Instagram. If you're not on my Instagram, make sure you see me there because I'm gonna continue this conversation. And take care of you. Love you lots. Take care. Bye bye. Mwah.